So this lesson is talking about solving algebraic proportions. Now, you may remember back from middle school or elementary the cross product. So if you had something like A over B equals C over D, in other words, you have two equal fractions, you can actually take and multiply on the diagonal. So what we mean is we could multiply across the numerator and denominator and basically come up with a shortcut. So A times D, we know AD, equals B times C, BC. Okay, so if you remember how to do a cross product, then you can do the same thing with your proportions, okay? Now, I'll show you two ways to do this problem. And the two ways, I'm going to do the long way first, and then I'm going to show you how the long way is the same as using this cross product shortcut. So, first of all, I only care about the x. Okay, we're used to the variable on the left-hand side, but I'm not going to worry about it this time. All I want to focus on is that we have x over 6. Well, that means division. Well, the only way to undo division is multiplication. So I could multiply both sides by 6, and since both sides are fractions, I'm going to put it as 6 over 1. Well, the side with the variable, these divide out, so I just get plain x. And then I could multiply straight across. 6 times 4 is 24 over 3, and then basically I just do the division. Well, what's 24 divided by 3? That's 8. So x equals 8. Now let's go back to the original. So the original problem was 4/3 equals x over 6. Now let's say I use the cross product, okay? So just like I did up here, I'm going to multiply on the diagonal and basically set them equal to each other. Well, and it doesn't matter which side is which, frankly, because I could put BC on the other side and AD on the other side and it wouldn't matter. So I'm going to lead with the variable on the left-hand side since that we're always emphasizing keeping the variables on the left. So 3 times x, I'm just going to write as 3x, equals, well, 4 times 6 is 24, and then I just divide by 3 on both sides, and I get x equals 8. Okay? Both ways are correct. Both ways give you the answer, but I promise you if you do the cross product, it's going to be so much faster, especially when you start having adding and subtracting. Now, we know that adding and subtracting has a lesser priority than multiplying or dividing in the order of operations. So because these two fractions are division, when you see anything that has adding or subtracting in, automatically you need to put parentheses around them because we're going to end up doing the distributive property, and frankly there's just no other way around it, okay? So let's go ahead and when I say multiply on the diagonal, well, how do I multiply a number in parentheses? Well, basically you just write it as 2 times the parentheses, and you just know that we're going to end up distributing in the next step, and then I'm going to multiply the other diagonal to get the other side of the equation. 10 times 4 is 40. Okay? Now, if you distribute, you get 2n plus 10 equals 40, and then we don't have all our variables on the left side, so we're going to eliminate the positive 10 by negative 10 on both sides, and you get 2n equals 30, and divide by 2, and you find that n is 15. Okay. Now on this side, same kind of thing, but remember, we put parentheses because subtraction has a lesser priority than the division on the fraction from the fraction bar, okay? Same thing over here in number 4. So if we start with the diagonal, remember, don't freak out, a number multiplied by parentheses, I'm just going to put the number in front, and it doesn't matter which one goes in front because multiplication is commutative, but I'm going to end up distributing. And then we find the other side of the equation by multiplying 2 and y. So that equals 2y. Again, no worries, we don't need to freak out. Just distribute the 5, so we have 5y minus 15 equals 2y. I'm going to eliminate the variable on the left-hand side. So let's subtract 2y. And I'm going to eliminate the negative 15 by adding 15 on both sides. Now again, there's nothing to add to it, so you just put it in its own column. Because as you notice, now that we've basically eliminated the 2y on the right and the negative 15 on the left, and we combine like terms, we get 3y equals a positive 15. Because if there's nothing to combine it with, we just copy it. Then you divide by 3, well 15 divided by 3, you find y is 5. Okay? So on number 4, and maybe it's, I don't know what's easier to see, but if I just, maybe it's easier to see this diagonal, I do 5 times the quantity 2k minus 3, and then I do the other diagonal, and it's going to equal 3 parentheses k plus 9. Okay, now all I need to do is distribute. So then I get 10k minus 30 equals 3k plus 27. And now I just go back to my basic solving multi-step equations. I'm going to eliminate the variable on the right-hand side. Since it's a positive 3k, I need a negative 3k on both sides to eliminate it on the right. And I want to eliminate the negative 30, so I'm going to add 30. So I get 7k on the left-hand side, and 27 plus 30 is 57. Divide by 7. Oh my gosh. 5 times 3. Let me back up. Wow, I made a big mistake. I was distracted by the phone ring. 5 times minus 3 is 15. So I'm sorry. This is just a good example that we all make mistakes. Sometimes we get distracted. So 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. So to eliminate the negative 15, we need to add 15. That makes more sense. Okay, because 57 wasn't going to divide by 7 at all. So if we add 27 plus 15, we're going to get 42. So when we divide by 7, k equals 6. The answer is 3, but your work has to show it. So basically, you solve all these questions through number 18. You start at 3, and whatever the answer is for number 2, use a ruler and draw a straight line to that answer. Then from that answer, you draw a straight line to 3, then you draw a straight line to 4, and you keep going all the way until you get to 18. So basically what this does, if you have an answer and you can't find it anywhere here, you know you did the problem wrong and you need to come or bring it up in class for the next discussion. Okay? And once you notice, or once you finish through number 18, you'll notice the picture, not really a picture, but you'll notice, you can tell that it works out completely or not. Okay? So we'll bring that to class and you'll see if your drawing works out perfectly. Now, let's say you just copy the notes and you don't print them out. Do through number 18, but just notice if you don't find your answer anywhere on the printout or the digital file, then you know you did one wrong. And don't worry about copying this, but those of you who do copy it, you'll see, and it should work out perfectly. You'll see what I mean.